Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Awaken the World. We are live right now, comfortable in your own skin. It is 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, halfway through the month of January in the year of 2022. You are here live in the Awaken the World group. Hopefully everything still works. Yeah. So I've been busy preparing the presentation for tomorrow night, which is going to be in the Action for Climate Change group. And that presentation is all about the current state of the various tipping points, where we're at, dealing with feelings of climate or eco grief, anxiety, and concern. And I would invite you all to take part in that video as well. It's going to be a great video, and hopefully the idea is to spur on a little bit of action. First of all, as always, let me say how much that I love each and every one of you. All of you are part of me, and I am part of you. We are part of each other. There is truly only one consciousness in all of creation, manifest in so many various forms, each of those forms unique and purpose-driven. And we really need to come to terms with that and be able to look upon all the forms on this planet in that same sort of light. But most especially right now, each other. So how did this little video come about? And I'm not going to take a lot of your time tonight. Well, as a lot of the videos have come about, it's really all about Kelly. And one of the things that I notice about so many people is that there are truly that's not really the right way to say it. The right way to say it would be there are only a very few number of people who I've ever met that are comfortable in their skin. Most are extremely uncomfortable in their skin. And the way we can see that is in their unwillingness to reveal aspects of themselves, in the way that they hide from the light, so to speak. And I want to have a little talk about that and why becoming comfortable in your own skin is part of that journey of awakening, and something you must come to terms with sooner or later. And it's important to understand that I'm not talking about your physical looks, because physical looks are transient. They're dependent upon culture, upbringing, all sorts of variables, and this really has nothing to do with physical looks. What this has to do with is literally being comfortable being who you are. Now, the obvious answer would be, well, wait a minute, Garen, you just said that we're all one, and that I'm a manifestation of that one consciousness, so, that's what I am. Sure, I agree. Absolutely. But the concept of I negates what was just said. But we need it. And just like Christ when he was here on the planet, in that form, there is a distinction between what we truly are and the fact that we're here living this supposed existence. And since we are, there is validity in it. Why? Because that divine creator, that divine source of consciousness in all of creation, doesn't make mistakes, doesn't do things for no reason. Everything is done with reason, with purpose. So here we are experiencing ourselves as a human being. And this is truly what it means to be still in this world, but no longer of this world. So we can operate freely in the world, and using it as a term of speech while gazing down upon our physical selves, and I'm talking about that from a non-physical level of being. We can literally watch ourselves as the player, as the actor or actress in the play we would call life. And when you are firmly couched within the higher aspect of your being, you can, or you will, is more correct to say, you will become comfortable in your skin. You will become okay with who you are in every moment, no matter what the circumstance. So how is that even possible? Well, how it works is that the reason why you're comfortable is that you finally understand that no matter what you're thinking, no matter how you're behaving, no matter what the situation right now, you are perfectly designed for it in your own life. You have the perfect mindset. You have the perfect fears, the perfect worries. All the things that you're experiencing that you would try to push away from you are perfect. And when you no longer try to push those things away from you, when you no longer try to say, I am not that, and instead say, I am this right now in this role. I am experiencing this right now as a human being. What you're going to do is start to change that dynamic. When you're no longer resisting how you're feeling, how you're thinking, how you're reacting, being the little human sometimes, when you stop resisting all that and start accepting that as part of your journey, when you start seeing it as the gift in every moment that's offering you the opportunity, like a giant loving mirror that creation truly is, to show you yourself, to learn to see through that false sense of self, to begin to interact with that apparent self that you would call your egoic being, the sense of I, to begin to dispel those fears and remove those masks and become comfortable in your skin. For Kelly, she had a 3-hour class this morning. What a way. Wake up early on a Saturday and boom, in class on the computer for 3 hours. I can't sit that long. It would drive me insane. But one of the things that Kelly said is that she wasn't comfortable sharing, what had gone on with her family, with these strangers, with these people through the screen. And I kind of chuckled at that. And it reminded me of early in way back when, in the early days, when Kelly had said to me she felt like she was the only person in the world going through what she was going through. And I said, there's probably 200 people within a 5-block radius of here. And she couldn't believe that. You see, we're all reflections of that same human egoic cloud. We're all drawing from it like receivers. And we tune ourselves based on our ego into the channels that we want to hear to help inflate that sense of self. And what we're really trying to do is resist that deep niggling fear. Becoming comfortable in your own skin means giving in to the fear. Go ahead and be afraid and speak out anyways. When you hide nothing from no one, and Kelly will be the first to tell you that, Garen hides nothing from anybody at any time. Anyone who wants to know anything about Garen can simply ask. And he doesn't really care what you happen to think about it either, and I don't. Why? Because I'm not in control of that. And that's another aspect of being comfortable in your own skin. It's the realization that you might as well be yourself, because no matter who you try to be, there's still no guarantee that you're going to make everybody pleased with you or fool everybody. And of course, when you're all alone and there's no more distractions, that's the time when the uncomfortableness of being with ourselves really starts to come out. Can you be alone for a prolonged period of time? Can you be still just with yourself and be okay with that? To not need and crave something to distract you from you? All of this is part of being comfortable in your own skin. I can tell you from my own experience that when you truly become transparent, when you give up the idea that there's anything or any reason to hide anything from anybody, all of your personal power comes flooding back into you, and you become authentic. You become a rare individual on this planet, an authentic individual. An individual who will never say to you that which you want to hear, but will instead say to you that which you need to hear. We had this talk with Danyan, Kelly's youngest child, years ago when he was still living at home, and he said, in all honesty, that he really kind of wanted it 50-50. In other words, there are times when, egoically, he just wanted to hear what he wanted to hear instead of what he needed to hear. And we all face that when we want to hear something. And we don't often listen to what we need to hear. That's the gift that you give in return for becoming 100% authentic with yourself, with being absolutely okay with where you are right now in this moment. The last thing we have to deal with is that whole nasty element of self-judgment. It's very convenient to judge everyone else around us. And when we do that, it's only because we're subconsciously judging ourselves, but we're not willing to face it consciously. Letting go of judgment on yourself is the most loving act that you can partake in. Realizing that there is never any fault. That the being you were in an earlier state of consciousness, which could be minutes ago, is not the being you are today. That doesn't absolve you from the responsibility for your life, but it absolves you of the idea that you are in some way not good enough or not enough. And then you can begin to understand that you are always enough, and that life only gives to you exactly what you need and what you can handle. that's really about it. I don't want to keep anyone too long tonight. I know it's Saturday night. I'm sure a lot of you have got giant COVID parties to go to tonight. I have a date with a bunch of glowing balls of light as I plan to spend another 20 minutes or so engaged in intense physical activity on my VR headset with Synth Riders. That's my big Saturday night plans. So at the end of the day, be okay being you. And you will be surprised that when you are you, your authentic self, you will draw other like-minded people to you. And soon you will find you will have a new crowd, a new tribe, a new community that is more authentic and sees you as you are and accepts you as you are. The first step to that is always accepting yourself. That's it. That's all. Namaste. Much love to you. Please do join us for the video tomorrow night, 6 p.m. It's inside the event. And I did post a link in the group page there, so you will see it. And yeah, that's all. We'll talk again very soon. Good night.